against the wall too.
She did not. Outside.
Taylor, that's not the way to conduct a discussion.
There's police and they have handcuffs.
Don't bring your friends.
Homeland Security.
You're not in charge of her.
I'm not in charge of her. Just let her in charge of her.
She wants us to be fucking
They were asking about James. At this point,
I'm sorry to differ with you, sir. But you are the caretaker. You've always been the caretaker.
So this episode's a bit of a mashup of two episodes I did before in season 1, Hauntology and Disneyland, Baudrillard's Disneyland. So just a brief recap. Hauntology is what happens when the future dies, but what's left is ghosts that keep showing up in reruns and aesthetics. Think of the first season of Stranger Things. It's very hard on that, right? The nostalgia factor, the remember when. And Disneyland, Baudrillard's Disneyland, Disneyland exists so you believe everything outside of it is fake, even though it is fake as well. Like Hulk Hogan being racist, right? Like Hulk Hogan is a symbol of America. And then, before he died, everyone's like, oh my God, he's a racist. How could that happen? But that's America. It was built on racism. If you want to know more, you can check out both these videos. I don't know if my fingers are pointing at them. I'm going to do my best. But yeah, you can check out the videos from before. Yeah. So The Shining it's about a haunted hotel that Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson, and his family have to take care of. He becomes a caretaker for the I guess the summer break or whatever, and he ends up dying. It's haunted, but like really sorry if you haven't seen The Shining. Sorry, I just spoiled the shit out of it. He dies, but if you haven't seen The Shining, I mean, were you just thought out? Like, are you Captain America? Like, come on. That's not my fault. Like, The Shining's older than me. That's not on me. That's not on me. Is it? No, it's not on me. I asked nobody. Anyway, so the in The Shining, the metaphor is that and Stanley Kubrick's very smart with this. The hotel isn't haunted by ghosts. It's haunted by repetition, American masculinity, and looping on itself forever. Violence with no future, just passing it down from generation to generation, right? So they make clear references that the hotel was built on an ancient Indian burial ground, very popular trope in the 80s. But yeah, it was built on an ancient Indian burial ground. The idea that the former caretaker murdered his family, and then Jack gets possessed and tries to murder his own family. That's just masculinity. That's what that is. That is the ideology of masculinity just looping itself. And Stanley Kubrick was very smart with that, with his details in the movie. You've always been here is a key line. You've always been here. Like showing the connection of America's need to murder a whole bunch of people under the guise of westward expansion or freedom, murdering indigenous people, and how that is connected to the mythology of maleness, and how that ideology is so internalized, and he can't escape it. He's always in it. So I've gotten into Real Housewives in the last few years, but this year, in the last few months, I've really gotten into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I think I like it because it is like modern horror in a way. It's The Shining in its own uniqueness. Like it's people trapped in a loop. they do this thing in these shows where they're like, hey, let's have a party. I hope no arguments happen. Literal argument always happens. It always happens. It's like, it is like that trope in TV where they're like, oh, of course, why would someone do that? And then the someone does it. There's a lot of enjoyment in that. There's a lot of I laugh, but I also feel sad. I mean, there's these people, and it takes place in Salt Lake City, and of course, it's, you're dealing with religion. You have a lot of cult talk, and you have a lot of Mormon and other religions. But yeah, religion is very deep in it, and so you see like the ideological constructs that these women are trying to fight through and trying to understand themselves in. Which, to me is The Shining. It's great horror. Another show that I really enjoy. I think it's Tim Robinson. All his stuff I really like. But the Chair Company I just watched, and it's literally what I'm talking about. And it's like he fully understands this sadness, this loop that you're trapped in, and it has the horror tones in it, right? And it's very mysterious and weird, but hilarious. And that's what I enjoy. That's what I like about the Housewives. So we go back to the Housewives, which is, like I was saying before, is ideological women trying to find themselves. And all the Housewives are like this, right? It's just that Salt Lake City really takes a deep dive on, like, it has that extra layer of religion, but they all kind of do this where it's like, their lives are centered around consumption. And what that means, they never really move forward, and you do the same thing as a viewer. So the pattern never changes. It's a continuous thing on every show where it's like the women get along, and then they go, oh, they gossip about each other outside of the group, and then the group comes together for a trip, and then shit falls apart. It is literal hauntology. We're trapped in the hotel. That's what we are. We're trapped in the hotel. And then you get to Tim Robinson as a performer in general. There's just a sadness, and the Chair Company especially is like, it's more direct to the thing than Housewives, where it's like the ideology of masculinity. And like he forces himself, like, okay, if you ever seen his sketch show on Netflix, forget the name, I'll put it up here. But yeah, I don't want to say the name because I'm sure I'll get it wrong. But like he has this one where he's on a job interview and he pulls the door the wrong way, but refuses not to pull to correct himself, because correcting himself might make him look bad. So he just rips the door, like he's just pulling it against how it's supposed to go. That's kind of the Chair Company. It's an entire season of him making these choices based off of how others will see him, based off his ideology, because the ideology of manliness existentially, or whatever he decides is man, is existential. It's an ideology in being and not essence. He didn't choose it. He's confusing being with essence. And so he needs it reflected back at him all times. Everyone's an object and he's the subject. I know I'm kind of ruining the comedy by breaking it down like that, but this is what I was laughing so hard at this show, because it's brilliant, but also just amazingly funny. I am very jealous of what he created in a good way, in a good jealous. Envious? Is envious better? I don't know, but it was great. Like, Shining happens in just before postmodernism, or in the beginning of postmodernism. The Housewives is like the beginning of hauntology, and then we get to the Chair Company, which is full-formed hauntology, right? And the difference between postmodernism and hauntology is the melancholy. Whereas postmodernism, there's like a funness, like we laughed at it, like a South Park. Perfect example of postmodernism. Hauntology is the realization that all of it is fake, like all of it, there's no meaning behind it, but also this is what we have. Like, it's just going to be this forever. And so there's a sadness behind the realizing that these are constructs or these grand narratives don't exist. Is there's a sadness that there's a laying down of a fight. And I mean, Jack Torrance is just like, yeah, okay, I'll be a ghost. Like he just accepts his role in the hotel. The housewives just continue rolling along, and like in Salt Lake, they're literally making stories, trying to create controversy, and in a way you're like, oh, that they're terrible, they're horrible human beings trying to create controversy, but at the same time they're stuck in a loop, right? They have to. They'll get kicked off the show. They have to create these dumb narratives and these dumb fights and like be confusing and whatnot, and then air their pain on TV. And there's a sadness in it, but also a funniness that they don't see the loop, but also that I'm in this loop as well with them. And that's why Tim Robinson's Chair Company, I just like, this is amazing. And that's what I'm saying. It happens in all levels of life. You see it all the time. It's the feeling of this is never gonna end. This is just how it is. Real upbeat stuff. Real like call your grandmother, tell you love her kind of stuff. When I watch Real Housewives or Tim Robinson's Chair Company, I'm not laughing because I think these people are stupid or ignorant. I'm laughing because I understand the predicament. These are people trapped in generational roles, either masculinity or marriage, success, consumerism, religion, and these roles are handed down to them from ghosts that no longer exist, right? Like they keep mentioning like the guy that created Mormonism, and it's these black and white photos that these people are still living by. And the key thing is that it's not ignorance. These people know this. They see the loop, but they're required to perform it like Sisyphus, but with a glam squad, I guess. And this is where we leave postmodernism, right? We already know that the narratives were lies. Irony doesn't work anymore because irony relies on an idea that there's something better out there. Right? Like ironic racism is during like the early 2000s, ironic racism was very popular because it was, we know better, but we know better, right? Like we know better. And so you could be racist, but it's wink and nod because we can't be racist. We know better, right? Racism's over. Except now we know that it's not. Irony only works if the thing being joked about is already dead or defeated, right? So if we're in a world where like we're deporting immigrants to countries they're not from and putting them in like detention centers, it's not dead. This is why irony doesn't work when people say things like you couldn't make Blazing Saddles today for so many reasons. First of all, it's a parody of cowboy movies. It's actually woke of its time. It was woke. It was saying, hey, if there were real cowboy movies, the racism would be off the chain. And even without the irony, now with melancholy, fully aware, the performance continues because we don't know what else to do. And this is where Baudrillard's Disneyland kind of sneaks in, right? It's we're performing these roles that we're fully aware of, but we're fully invested in maintaining the illusion. And so we need places and things and ideas such as watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so I can sit there and separate myself from them and be like, well, these people are crazy. I'm the normal one. Or, witnessing an attack on a South American country and being like, this doesn't happen in our history when your history is full of that. And as just every day I see this Hauntology / Disneyland pop up in my world, right? Like this horror-esque thing. I was working with a comic once, which, you're going to find a ton of old people will bring out this, kind of horror this trapped in a loop. I was working with this comic book who was complaining about OnlyFans and trans flags and just the idea that like that okay, he saw a trans flag on a billboard and he was like, oh yeah, that the problem with that is that kids will see that, you normalize it, and they're gonna want to become trans. And I'm like, that's not how billboards work, dude. Right? If billboards work that way, do you know how many 8-year-old real estate agents would be out there right now? What he's really missing isn't dignity. It's gatekeeping. That's what he misses, is gatekeeping, which is like this idea that just keeps coming back. These people are just like rehashes of the same person since feudalism, probably before then, but it's just this feudal idea of hierarchy and the maintenance, and I identify with this maintenance as truth. And so when I go back on Facebook now, it's like nothing's changed. Like as soon as I get on there, I'm like in the middle of some argument about something, and people are like calling people racist or not racist, blah blah blah. It's the same arguments, it's the same declarations, and the same minion memes. It's just, it has not changed. It's very unsettling. It gives me anxiety. Everyone's playing the same roles and telling the same jokes and arguing the same thing. And I'm not saying I'm above this. I'm saying I just see it and it kind of creeps me out. And in that creep, I think, is that I realize that everything's not falling apart. Everything's just staying as it is. And it's been like that for a very long time. It's just reissuing and reissuing until the scaffolding just kind of disappears and we don't see it and we just accept it as normal. The world looks normal, but now you understand why everything feels insane. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Also check out the Substack at gavinstevens.substack.com and everything else at gavinstevens.ca.